Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shaunneka and today's class is going to be a nice, mellow, relaxing Yin Yoga sequence for your evening. So whether or not you're just getting home from work or maybe it's a little after dinner, not quite bedtime, but you want to do something to, relax the mind for the evening and kind of settle in for the rest of your night, this is going to be a really great class for you. So you will need 2 blocks and a bolster. You don't have to use them, but they are recommended. And if you don't have a bolster, you can use a pillow. So our first pose is going to be a child's pose with a twist. And I like to use the blocks in this pose. And I'll just show you what I do. You're going to place the first block at its highest height, second block at its lowest height. Bringing your hands on either side of the first block, you're going to bring your knees wide and your big toes to touch. Send your bum back into the saddle that you've created. Stretch your left arm forward, reaching towards the top of your mat. So you may decide after doing this that this is not for you and you can completely do this without the blocks. I just prefer to use blocks in a twist. Take your right hand, you're going to weave it underneath the left, and you're going to bring your right temple to the block. Take your left hand now and bring it to the top of the block that's closest to the top of the mat. And it's almost like you're using this as leverage to help open up the chest. Nice deep breaths. Let's go ahead and balance things out. So without coming all the way up, you're just going to take the left hand off of the block and bring it back to the mat. Push into the hand, gently lift the head up off of the block, unravel the arm, bring the right arm to the top of the mat, and weave the left arm underneath the right, bringing the left temple to the block. Might have to fish for that block again. Bring your right hand to the top. And while you're here, you want to think about drawing that left shoulder down and away from the block. Really opening the space between the neck and the shoulder. Gently from here, take the right hand off of the block, bring the right hand to the mat, unravel, so bring the left arm from underneath you out, remove this block that's in front of your forehead, and just bring the chest and the forehead to the mat. Last few breaths here. Let's take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Let's go ahead and gently lift the gaze. Push into the palms. Gently walk your hands back in towards your knees. Go ahead and rock forward. Bring the knees to close. And then just gently drape the thighs on top of the belly. You can stack fist on fist and just let the forehead rest. You can shimmy from side to side. If you are experiencing any low back discomfort, you can always squeeze the knees together. Let's go ahead and sit all the way up. So from here, we'll be making our way into a pigeon. So you may or may not use your blocks, just have one handy at the top of the mat. Go ahead and bring your right knee behind your right wrist and your right foot behind the left. So just making sure you're not sinking all of your weight into that right hip. If your shin does not come parallel, just making sure that your knee and your toe are in one nice long line. Look over your left shoulder. Make sure your leg is behind you. Inhale, square off the hips and find length. And exhale, folding forward. And as always, I have a slight gap between my hip and the floor. You can always place a towel, pillow, or your block there. I like to stack palm or fist on fist. Nice deep breaths. Belly is soft. Jaw is relaxed. Also noticing how much pressure you're pushing into your elbows. Maybe you need to walk them out wider. Just making any minor adjustments to allow yourself to go deeper for these last few breaths. Maybe you tuck your left toes under and pick up the knee and move your foot closer to the back of the mat. So really lengthening out through the body. Last few breaths. Let's take our last 2 breaths before we transition. Nice big inhale. Nice soothing exhale out of the mouth. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently lifting the gaze, pushing into the palms, and walking yourself back upright. Keep the weight or lean the weight into your right hip this time. You're going to send your left leg out in front of you. And then you're just going to cross that left shin, left foot on top of the right knee, setting up for fire log pose. So your right shin remains parallel to the top of the mat, and you simply just bring the left foot and it crosses over the right knee. You can always place the block underneath to support the left foot. So this is where you can use your pillow or your bolster if you'd like. Take your bolster and you're just going to snuggle it up in towards your belly. Again, imagine you're sticking out your bum and just drape over. Feeling a nice stretch to the outer left hip. Last few breaths here. Taking note of the quality of your breath. Are the breaths long and deep? Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Feel the back of the rib cage expand. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale, release. So wherever you are in this pose, lift the gaze. Come all the way up. Remove the bolster if you used it, or the pillow. Lean back, uncross, and we're just going to lay on our backs just for a moment. You can keep the knees bent, bring the feet as wide as the mat, and allow your knees to knock in. Taking a moment to take it all in. Let's go ahead from here and gently windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Maybe extending the legs out wide, legs out long. And just rolling to one side and bringing yourself back up to a seat. So we'll do the exact same thing on the other side. So finding yourself back in that tabletop position, bringing the left knee behind the left wrist and the left foot behind the right. Shimmy your right leg back. Make sure that your left knee is in a nice line all the way to the left big toe if you cannot bring your shin parallel to the top of the mat. Look over your shoulder, make sure your leg is behind you. Inhale, find length, and square off those hips towards the front of the mat. That makes all the difference in this pose. Inhale, exhale, keep that length as you come all the way down. Stacking palm on palm. So everything is nice and soft. Everything from the waist down is nice and relaxed. Again, notice how much pressure you're pushing into your elbows. You might need to open them wider. So we are coming into our last few breaths, making any minor adjustments to allow yourself to go deeper. Maybe you tuck your right toes under, pick up the right knee, and shimmy the foot and the knee closer to the back of the mat. Maybe you walk your fingertips out forward. Last few breaths. Let's take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Lifting the gaze, pushing into the palms, walk your hands back towards your hips. Lean your weight into your left hip, bringing your left shin parallel. If it's not there already, make sure the left foot is flexed. And you're just going to swing that right leg, right shin, right foot comes over the left knee for fire log pose. So I didn't mention this on the other side, but my outer hips are tight, so I have quite a big gap between my knee and my foot. This is uncomfortable for you. You can always place the block here for support. Grab your bolster if you used it on the other side, or your pillow, and you're just going to snug it right into the belly. Find length and fold in. And again, you always want to think about sticking out your bum. It really makes all the difference, and it increases the intensity of the stretch. Last few breaths on this side. Maybe you can inchworm yourself higher up onto the bolster or pillow. And if you're not using the bolster or pillow, maybe you can walk your fingertips a little bit closer to the top of the mat. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And let it go. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come all the way back up. Remove the bolster. You're going to place the bolster or the pillow directly behind you. Bringing your blocks with you, having them on either side of your mat on its second highest height. You're going to have a slight gap between your low back and the bolster or the pillows, and come to lay down, feeling nice length in the low back, bringing the soles of the feet to touch and allow them to rest on the blocks. So maybe you need to adjust the spacing, or maybe you need more support, so you bring them up to its highest height. Totally up to you. Bring your arms out by your side. Really trying to find the length. Nice deep breaths here. We've done a lot of folding forward. So this is just a really nice release for the low back. A nice lengthening, relaxing posture. You can always bring your arms up overhead if that feels good. Noticing here if your chest breathing, so if you're pumping through the chest, really allowing the chest to soften and the breath to come from the belly. Last few breaths here. Last two breaths of this practice. Nice big inhale. Bring the breath all the way up into the chest. Hold it here. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Last one, inhale. Fill all the way up, bringing the breath right up into the chest. Hold. Open the mouth and let it go. You can extend the legs straight down onto the mat. Remove the blocks with your hands, rolling off of one side of the bolster. Just moving it out of the way. Come to lay all the way on your back for your Shavasana. So avoiding the need to fidget and fix. Just allowing the body to be. Absorbing and reaping all of the benefits of your practice. Slowly now, beginning to invite movement back into the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes, rotating the ankles and the wrists. Let's go ahead and reach the arms up overhead for a nice long body stretch. Reach, 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 reach. And just allow everything to drop heavy. Bend the knees, rolling over onto your side. You can cradle the head in the upper arm. And pushing yourself all the way up to a seat. Let's take a nice big inhale. Fill all the way up. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Gently opening the eyes. Yogis, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling quite relaxed. I hope you also enjoyed that relaxing Yin Yoga sequence that you can do in your evening, for your evening, maybe not quite before bedtime, but something that you want to do just so that you can let go of the day and really be present with whomever you're with for your evening. So family, friends, spouse, whomever. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, and of course, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.